Here we are, part 8. It's been quite a while. I've been very busy, but let's get on with it. Let me show you what's in the box still. I don't want to see that. There we go. Cool. Quite a lot still left in there. Okay. Right, let's get that lined up. Grab a handful and see what we can find. See a dirty one, I think. Oh, come on. Right. We'll start with a Victorian 1887, but I'm looking down at the board and we do have one. I shall check, see if it's any better. There is King Edward VII, 1903. Is it an open 3? No, it's a closed 3. It's where the 3 curls over at the top and is very curly at the bottom. What you're looking for is the open 3. Let me go and get one. I'll show you what it is. Alright, that's my open 3, so let me zoom in and show you. It's flat at the top, you see it's almost straight at the top of the 3. And it doesn't curl over so much at the bottom. Now one in this condition, like the one I've got here, I reckon that's going to sell for around £50. They're getting very collectible. But that is just a common one. 1938, King George VI. There's a halfpenny coming up, look. There's a 1919, have we got a mint mark there? And no, there isn't. Right, halfpenny, what we got? Looks like a George V, it's a 1919. Yep, George V. That's not too bad. They usually get very worn, the halfpennies. Remember, don't say halfpenny, say halfpenny. That's what everyone used to say. Right, there's another George V. Well, there's a 1912. It's rare to get a 1912 with, not rare, but the H's are usually more common nowadays than the ones without the H mint mark. But that's not in bad condition. That might be an upgrade for the board. 1907, Edward VII. What we got here? 1918. There's no mint mark on that one either, is there? Sadly not. Well, that's a shiny one. Is it going to be a 66? It is. And that's a bit of a dirty one, that. Looks like it's dirty and someone's trying to clean it and given up. So I can go in the dirty mug. It's getting a bit full now. There's 1910. That's when Edward VII died, in 1910. Right, 1921. There's another 1907. Quite a lot of 1907s in this batch. What we've got here, 1922. Look at the prong in the middle of the trident. On the middle prong of the trident, I should say. And it's touching one of the beads, so it's not a rare one. What have we got here? Another George V in 1926. If you've looked at this series, you'll see I did show you about the modified effigy. It was either the last video or the one before, but that's not. That's just a common one, and that is absolutely filthy. George VI. Could it be a 1950 or 51? Or is that an 8 on the end? Right, I'm going to have to get a cocktail stick. Did come away, but sadly it's just a 1938. Nah, 1938. It's just covered in glue or something. It must have been stuck to something once. It'll come away, I think. It's not bad on that side. That's going in the dirty mug. Soon be full. When this is full, I'm going to give it away. Not the mug, just the coins in it. Carrying on, what we got here? Another 66. 1921. That's not bad for 1921. That's terrible, whatever it is. So that's 62, isn't it? 62. Again, that looks like it's got glue on it. In it goes. That is a George V. 36. Last one in the first handful, a 1964. Much warmer today, and look at that, the sun's out again already. We've got the halfpenny, so I'll put that one down there. The, what was it, 1919 halfpenny. Lots of halfpennies so far. And the 1887 is slightly better than that. Not much, but a little bit, so we will upgrade that one. Now, in the last video, in part 7, Carl Derbyshire said 1939 at 5.11 had a dot below the line in corner, so I've fished it out. There it is, and it certainly does have a dot on the right hand side there, next to the date. I'm pretty sure that's going to be just a bit of dirt or a bit of corrosion. So let's give it a bit of a rub, see if it just comes away easily. And yeah, sadly, wasn't a new variety or a new error, just a bit of dirt. But well spotted, Carl. Also, this one, now I said it looked like it had been hit with a nail punch, but other people have said it could be shot with an air rifle pellet. Yep, that could be what's happened. Could be right there. People have said that they used to use old pennies as target practice, so that could be what happened to that one. Oh, come here. Right then, what we got here? Not a very nice condition. 1914. 62. 1897. Is there a little dot between the O and the N? No. And it's the low tide variety, which is the common one for the 1897. Victoria. There's another one. Oh, that's nice condition. Oh, another 1897. Oh, please be a dot there. No, you can get them with a full stop between the O and the N, which is an error, but it's very collectible. But this, sadly, is just a plain one. I say sadly, but that's nice condition, isn't it? That is definitely going to be an upgrade, either to my Whitman album or the board. We'll have a look in a minute. Get through this handful. Right, 1927. Another halfpenny. A Golden Hind ship on there, 1952. What have we got there? Go away. Dirty work this is. Old coins. Oh, I love it. 1896. 1945. That'll be King George VI. 1931 there. 64. Another 64. We have got a nice 64, 65, 66 down there. Looking for an upgrade for the 61. 27. Oh, it's falling out of my hands. There we go. 65. There's a 1916. Interesting little pattern up there. Is that damage? Could be. Is it a recessed ear though? No, it's not. There's a 1919. No mint mark on that. Come on, let's have some more KNs. I found 2 in the last video and the same handful. Another Victoria. 1899. There's a 1915. That is a recessed ear. Well, you can see that. There's a dip in there where the king's ear has been recessed into the coin. And that was done to stop ghosting from the other side, but you can still see a little bit of ghost in there, so it didn't work very well. But a 1915 recessed ear, that's a nice find. Now let's have a look up there. You see the colon after the word Brit. You see one of those teeth? There, you see it's broken in half. Right, let me just freeze this image, get it into focus and freeze it. It's about 3/4 there, a little bit broken off the bottom, so that was the beginning of the error. So that's a nice find actually. 1915 recessed ear. I think I've only ever found one before, and this is better. I might keep that, sorry people, but I might keep that one myself. That's quite hard to find. Yeah, I'm going to hang on to that one. Right, this is a 1928. There's a shiny one. That's going to be a 66. Yep. There's a stuck to that one. 18. So there's an 1874. Not the best condition though. Now I did find an 1874 for my album, so I might put this one on the board. There are a few different varieties of that, but this is pretty poor condition. So, but it'll do for a date run. 1874. I'll put that down in a minute. There's a 1916. Is that a recessed ear? No. Okay, we've got a 1964 and 1909. You want a little dot after the N, but there's nothing there. That's just a common one. The 1897, that is definitely an upgrade for my Whitman albums. So that can go in there. That's quite a nice upgrade actually. And go in there. Someone actually moaned on the last video that I was touching coins with my fingers while I was putting them in the albums. Can you believe it? Yeah, I mean, these coins have been circulating for decades, over 100 years in some cases, been touched by millions of people. There's no way I'm going to start wearing gloves to put one in an album. So the 1897 I took out my album is a slight upgrade, so I'll put that there. What else we got? The halfpenny, another halfpenny, this time 1952. And the 1874 can go down there. And there's another bingo line. I tried wearing gloves in a previous video, if you remember. It was totally unpractical. And another thing about the last video, this 8 doubles that I found, and I'm pretty sure it's pronounced doubles and not doubles. People said that I didn't mention the H mint mark. If you can see that at the bottom, the H there. H for Heaton. It was made at the Heaton Works in Birmingham. Ralph Heaton and Son made that. Very nice find. Okay. Right, 1899. A little bit of damage there. A bit more damage there, Victoria. 1931. There's a 1913. Notoriously bad condition, 1913s, but that one's not too bad. I shall check, see if that's an upgrade. And there's a horribly shined up coin. Why don't I like them? People say, why don't you like them? What have you got against polished coins? Well, if it had any value, it would take all the value away. It takes the edges off the coin, and it just looks awful, doesn't it? It looks awful. That's going in the mug. 1935. Another 1913. It's not quite as nice. George V. 1921. 1936. 63. There's a 1912, and that's got the H mint mark on it. It's not bad, but the one on the board is quite nice. Yep, clearly see there. H for Heaton. Heaton, if I can say it. There we go. I'll have a look, see if it is any better. 1935. Another halfpenny. Worn down on that side. Damage there. Yet another dirty ear, look. These monarchs got dirty ear rolls. I don't think that's badly minted. I think it's just damage. Oh, it would be on the other side as well, but no. Sure, it is just flattened with damage. Let me know what you think. 1915 again. Not a recessed ear. 1912. Can't see a mint mark on that. Nope. 1937. 29. Oh, Australia. Oh, 1916. That is the oldest one we found, and look at that. That's not bad condition for 1916. Or is it? If you're Australian, you tell me. Is that the normal condition for 1916? And you can see the iron mint mark, so I know this was minted in India. Bombay, I think. They all might have been minted there. Again, let me know in the comments. I'm not an expert on Australian pennies, but that is nice. And they would have been exactly the same size as a British penny. So they would have went in slot machines, vending machines, cigarette machines, things like that. That's why I find so many of those. I remember them as a kid in the arcades. Used to find Australian pennies, mainly the kangaroo type, not this old. That's nice. Oh, I'm tempted to keep that, but no, I've got quite a few Australian pennies. George V, 1927. 1912, not very nice, that one. And a little bit of a battered George V. What's that? 1914. The horrible shined up 1939 can go in there. Okay, we've got the halfpenny for there. This 1912 is nice, but the one on the board is even nicer, so I'm not going to swap that. And another Australian penny, the 1916. I think that's 8 Australian ones so far. The 1913 is not as good as one on the board, so I won't upgrade that. I just realised I haven't switched my light on over here. Oh, that's better. Right, I've got a question for you. A lot of people who do coin hunts, they will look through them like this. And then when they find something they think is interesting, they'll bring it to the camera like that. Then look at it like that. Then go back and hunt them like this. Would you prefer it if I did it like this? Let me know. Or would you prefer it if I did it the normal way, or my normal way anyway, and did it like this? Let me know what you prefer. Anyway, they've been looked at, so let's straighten that up and grab another handful. Right, oh look at that, right on top we got a farthing. Right, I'm going to carry on doing it like this for now, so you let me know. What is that then? That's going to be the Wren, yes, 1944. I don't think we've got a Wren farthing. I've got a farthing, but it's the Britannia type, the old one. Okay, there's George V, 1920. I always check to see if it's the ultra rare. Just, you can tell straight away by the distance between the A and the B. In Gras and Brit, and they're very close together, so that's a common one. Right, let's see, 1964. There's another 1913. There's a 1912. Oh, wait a minute, did that have a mint mark on it? No. That's not very good anyway, is it? Right, 1964. There's an older one. 1890. Just looking on the board, we do have a better 1890 than that. It's scratched down there anyway. Another old one. Another 1876, that will have an H mint mark. They all did in that year. Made the Heaton Works. Edward VII. Oh, 1903. Come on, be straight at the top. No, curly at the top, curly at the bottom. Common, 1903. George V, there's a 1921. 1919, as you can see, there's no mint mark on that. Another 1913. 1914. That's definitely a better 1914 than the one on the board. That's not bad at all. Very worn usually, 1914s, so I will upgrade that. 28. There's a 1937. A mark on there, but just dirt. George VI. Another 1913. Another 1920. Another common one. 36. 1918. I was looking for a 1918 KN still. Oh, and there's another Napoleon III. French. Can we see a date on there? Oh yeah, right at the bottom there, 1854. So that predates any of these pennies on the board. Napoleon III. Can you see a mint mark? Yeah, there's an A there. Pretty worn though. 1909. Has it got a little dot after the N? It hasn't. What I'll do, I'll go and get mine and I'll show you what you're looking for. Right, there it is. Little dot just to the right and the top of the N, known as the 1909 dot penny. Now this one, this condition, I think if I was to try and sell that on eBay, I'd get about £40 for it. So definitely worth looking out for. A little dot. There we are, one more look. If you get it in the right light, it looks like there could be something there, but no, it's too uncertain. Oh, look at that, another jersey. 1066 to 1966. Commemorates 900 years since the Battle of Hastings. 1/12 of a shilling. That's a nice condition. All these 66 jerseys are in excellent condition. But why they're in these batches, I don't really know. Right, 1948. I think that's a better 48 than the one on the board. I'll have a look. 1906. Not sure whether that's been cleaned or not. 1920. Common 1920. And the last one in this handful is a 1931. George V. There's the 10 centimes, Napoleon III. We've got an 1855 down there already. This is an 1854. That's that. What else was it? The farthing. 1844. That can go with the other farthing. There's the upgrade for the 1948. So yeah, which is definitely a little bit better. We can go there. What else do we have? The jersey, 1966, and the 1914 is much better. Let's get rid of that one. Where's it with that one? Now, in the last video, I did say that I have found an 1869 before in one of these hunts quite a while ago, probably about 3 years ago. There it is. It's in terrible condition, but even something like that probably sell for around £10. Even in that terrible, poor condition. The mintage figure for 1869 is 2.5 million. I mean, there may have been 2.5 million minted in 1869, but they certainly weren't dated 1869 because that is extremely hard to find. Anyway, let's get back to this one. Right then, I was going to say Mr. Edward, King Edward the 7th, 1908, there's Victoria, 1897, is there a dot between the O and the N? No. Is it high tide? No, low tide. Come on, one. 1896. Okay, there's 1928. 1919, we got a mint mark this time. No. 1935. Nope, another 1919 as Victoria. 1874, is that an H down there? No, it's not. 1874. This one is the young head, and I can tell by that little bit sticking out at the bottom there, and the distance between Victoria and the V. So that's a younger head. The one on the board is the aged head, not old head, aged head. Let me show you the difference. The best thing I can do is put an image there for you. So the young head on the left, the aged head on the right. So study the differences. One of the easiest things to notice on nice condition coins is the brooch. You can see the whole brooch on the young head and only a small part of it on the aged head. And they've made Victoria's head a little bit fatter on the aged head coin. Going back to these, even in worn coins you can usually see the bottom of the brooch. But of course in the aged head you wouldn't be able to see the bottom of the brooch at all. And the one I've just found is a wider date. If I line the ones up you can see the 4 comes out a bit further. So it's a wider date as well. This is one of the Whitman albums I'm trying to fill from this hunt, from these hunts. And you'll see up there it says young head. So if we get to the 1874, I tried to make Victoria look a little bit older in 1874. So we've got 1874 there for the young head, and up there it says aged head, and there's 1874s there as well. I thought I had a 74, obviously not. I haven't got any 1874s in here. I should have put that other one, but too late, I put it on the board now. So we've got here, this is the young head, no H mint mark, so that one will go there. I'll put that one there. Right, where do we get to? A few more in this handful. 1900, Queen Victoria. What's that? 1882, is that? It's not. Yeah, that's an 8, isn't it? 1882. We don't need any other Victorias ending in a 2 anyway, so whatever it is, we got it. Another 1919, no mint mark. 1901. That's not too bad, is it? Oh, might be better than the one on the board. That could be an upgrade. Another 1901. That's definitely not an upgrade. 1965. Another Elizabeth there. 1961 this time. 1893. Not as good as the one on the board. 1938. 62. Shiny, but we do have a better one than that. And there's another halfpenny. This time it's a 1942. George VI. And the last one in this handful is a 1919 without a mint mark. I've already put the 1874 in my Whitman album, so we've got the halfpenny from 1942 and the 1901. Not sure whether it's better or not. Oh yeah, it's a bit rough on the obverse, so yeah, is a slight upgrade. So we'll put that one down there. Right, I've been going quite a while. I'll get a few more. It's Saturday the 27th of January today, 2024. I always upload these videos, as you know, on the day that I make them. Okay, let's start this one then with a 1928 George V. There's a 1912, no mint mark, not very nice condition. 1882 with a mint mark. If you find an 1882 without an H mint mark, very valuable coin. Quite rare, but that one has got one. So a bit dusty. I think that'll just come away that. I'll check that. We have got one on the board, but it might be better. There is George V, 1914, 1916, and that's a recessed ear. You can see that. I don't know whether you can see it or not, but how that ear has been recessed into the coin. So that means a 1916 will have a broken tooth up there. Yep. One of the beads is broken in half. After the word Brit, you see the colon, follow that colon up and you'll see one of those teeth is indeed broken. But I do think we've got a better one on the board than that. I'll check that at the end. Alright, 1936. Another 1936. Oh, it's not an Elizabeth. Well, it is an Elizabeth, but it's Australian. 1958. I think we've found a 1958 Australian already. But I will check when I come to sort the coins out at the end. So there's a dot after the word penny, so that's going to be the Perth mint. Not as good. If I did find a 58, I think it was in better condition than that. Might have been. Right, there's 1930. There is an Edward, 1910. 1936. 1922, let's look at that trident. Bit of damage, but it is touching the bead anyway. Victoria. 1897, no. Is there a dot? No dot, not in the right place anyway. And it is a low tide, so it's common. 1937. And the very last one, I'm going to call it a day, 1921. The 1882 with the H mint mark is slightly better. So that is an upgrade for that. What else? The Australian 1958. I'll put that down there for now and we'll check them at the end. Now the 1916, I've got two down here. So one of them the recessed ear. Right, that one is in very nice condition, and that's not a recessed ear. So why did I leave that one down there? I can't remember now. But that one is a recessed ear, as you can see. So I don't know why I've left that one down there. Don't need to be there, does it? So I'll put that really nice condition one, I'll put that back there. And I'll put this recessed ear one back there as well. So I've no idea why they were there. Anybody been taking better notice than I have on my own videos? Well, there we are. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next one. Now, the next one will be part 9, and I'm going to finish it in part 9, no matter how long it takes. All right, thank you. Bye.